Brexit puts a pressure on the relationship between EU and UK. It marks a new event of UK drawing from EU, along with a new immigration policy and regulation. Is it always a new hot topic? So, let's follow our report today to know more about UK immigration policy. There are three main parts in our news today. Firstly, the history of the process and changing immigration policy in UK. The secondly is the structural context influencing immigration law by Lanang reporting. Finally, Cảnh Phương will show the proposals to the future UK immigration policy after Brexit, which marks a renewable change in UK immigration policy. Let's start. First, for history, in the late 20th century, people globally mobile, UK became an attractive place for living and workers. In early immigration, Celtic people arrived in Britain in 650 BC, and in 50 BC, Roman conquest brought many Latin settlers. The Norman conquest of England from 1066. So, the laws were sparse. The common law recognized a general distinction between aliens and citizens. In 1905, Allied Act aimed to protect Britain from undesirable immigration, while encouraging economically and culturally beneficial immigration to Britain. In 1914, at the outbreak of World War I, panic legislation was passed in the first days of the war to grant extended powers to the Crown over immigration. In 1919, Allied Act was legislation governing the entry of refugees from Nazism in 1930s. In 1948, the British Nationality Act instituted the new category of citizens of UK and colonies, which is defined as every person born within the UK and colonies. In 1962, the Commonwealth Immigration Act, the Labour government responded to media and public pressure by placing further limitation on the right of the entry of certain UK passport holders. In 1971, Immigration Act, which introduced the distinction between patriot and non-patriot immigrants, classification to which the right to reside in UK was tied. For the patriot immigrants were those with full citizenship who was deemed to have right to reside in UK. For non-patriot immigrants were those without full citizenship. They were granted only limited leave to remain in Britain. In 1981, British Nationality Act showed that not all citizens of UK and colonies had an automatic right to abide in Britain. In 1996, Asylum and Immigration Act. In 1997, Dublin Convention. In 2007, UK Border Act introduced biometric registration as necessary requirement for those entering UK. In 2008, have had immigration rules. In 2016, in Immigration Act, DAPS management required that the Secretary of State make an arrangement to relocate to UK and support specified number of company refugees children from other countries in EU. As you can see, the UK immigration policy had changed many times in the past. So, how about nowadays? Let's continue with our reporters.
The UK joined EU in 1973, and since that time the UK has been governed by the laws and rules of EU. And one of the dominant rules is immigration policy, which has threatened the UK about economy, politics, and society. Now we will find together about the structural context of factor. It means how the EU's immigration policy has a bad impact on UK. First, we will talk about the structural context of the economy. All EU citizens have the right to move and work freely in the UK. However, free movement might increase unemployment or lower wages for UK citizens and UK-born workers during an economic downturn. And the second, about the structural context of politics. Free movement has raised the population of UK, and the UK can control the number and type of people coming to this country. It's difficult to control the national security strictly. And the third, about structural context of society and demographics. UK has seen more people arriving to settle here than live for other shores, and the population has been rising for 2 decades, which has a little negative impact on culture and ideologies of the UK. Also, UK budgets, UK government spending has risen because the UK government has taken more money to concern life citizens, while many the people outside the UK has arrived to this country. So to sum up, from the negative consequence of EU's laws on UK, the UK need to form an own immigration policy that is not influenced by the EU's. As of recent, Brexit has happened and has formed proposals of new immigration policy. Lanang reporting from London, United Kingdom.
Of Brexit, there's some most significant change in the immigration rules and policy. For Tier 1 visa, is there some change in exceptional talent visa? To increase the number of high-skilled workers in UK, for the investor visa, were initially required to submit evidence that they have maintained a required £2 million investment. For the Tier 2 visa, there is some change for nurses and doctors if they want to get a visa. These professionals are now excluded from certificate of sponsorship limit. And for the migrant share ownership, there's 10% of share are held directly or indirectly. For the change in referendship from services, is the universal job match to find a job scheme. The Tier 4, there's some visa change as the eligibility for the dependents. New change reduce the length of time being enrolled in the postgraduate from 12 to 9 months only. The evidence for qualifications. The new change for the Home Offices will accept printouts, but the authorities will request the original certificate. The document requirement and ATAS certificate. New change reduce document requirements from students from some countries. And there are also some other changes in the immigration rules and policy of UK for the Duke's Amendment. They allow children who do not qualify the humanitarian or refugee protection lived in UK for a long time. The Afghan interpreters and family members will be allowed to apply for 5 years settlement. And some calculation of absence. The applicants who apply for leave can't have more than 180 days of absence if they want to stay in the work related to category. Continuity of leave. With new rules, an applicant can't apply again out of the country within 14 days after refusal without affecting a continuity of leave. Returning resident. Is it easier now for returning resident to apply for re-entry into the UK? An electronic visa waiver who have e-visa can present them in the digital format. Turkish ECCA workers, they can settle in UK after 5 years now, and there are many factors for this change of UK's immigration rules and policy to mark the Brexit as the time for UK to settle again its regulation and rules and policies for the immigrant. UK couldn't control its borders. It also had to provide a huge amount of money as a pension for the refugees and low-skilled workers in UK, and it couldn't control its security when the migrants from the EU can move into the UK without permission of the government. Also, the UK's government couldn't control the population densities for the demographic factors. The UK government needs to control its population growth so it can control its economic growth as well as the people's welfare involving in the pension. The government can provide money to its people. Now, UK changed its immigration rules. It also means that UK can change its way of governing the countries and to raise the economic growth and raise the welfare for its people. Khánh Phương telling the news from London, United Kingdom.
That's the end of our news today. Thank you for watching.